We've had a great deal of amendments to Title I. The chair is willing to entertain amendments to Title II. Well, we could do that, but let's see if we can move on to. You won't be precluded.
Title I or II?
You won't be precluded from offering an amendment.
Is it
Are there amendments?
Parliamentary inquiry.
Yes.
My parliamentary inquiry is now that you're moving to Title II, I'd like for the record, I have 4 amendments on Title I, and I'd like that right preserved to offer, and I'd like to know when I could offer those amendments.
Gentleman will have his rights protected to offer amendments to Title I, and we would certainly guarantee the amendments to be in order at the completion of the bill.
Right.
And all the other titles.
Yep.
Thank you.
Are there amendments to Title II?
Mr. Chairman, I have a quick parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, state your
I know it's the
parliamentary.
Democratic side, but I have 5 amendments that I can do in block for Title I. But it's the Democratic.
Matheson.
Okay.
Okay. We need to go to the Democratic side first, and then we'll come back to the Republican.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Yes. Gentleman's status parliamentary inquiry.
There is nervousness, and I want you to bring a calm to, Mr. Chairman, on the Republican side, that you are, by procedure, moving, we're very accustomed to moving title, exhausting amendments, going to the next title.
Yes.
And so many of us have amendments per title, and we want your assurance that when we get after the 3rd title, that you will not entertain a motion for a previous question excluding our amendments.
Well, the chair can't talk about what amendments would or procedural votes would be called sometime tomorrow. We're going to try to process the amendments, but if we really have 400 amendments, and it took us so many hours to just do a couple this morning.
Further parliamentary
we're gonna run out
inquiry.
of time. Yes.
Does the committee have the assurance that you would not support a motion to move the previous question until our amendments have been offered?
Let me give you this assurance. We will have further opportunity for Title I amendments.
In this markup.
In this markup. In this week.
All right.
All right. In this bill. To go to the Democratic side, I want to now call on Ms. Matsui. You seek recognition to offer an amendment, is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to offer an en bloc amendment. That would be my amendment, including also Ms. Baldwin's 2 amendments, Ms. Eshu's and Mr. Welch's.
Without objection, the amendments will be considered en bloc. The clerk will report the amendments. And the amendments will be distributed.
How many are there? There's 8 in block? No, 4.
Is the clerk prepared to? Almost.
Mr. Chairman, amendment offered by Ms. Matsui of California. After Section 204, insert.
Without objection, that amendment be considered as read.
Okay. Amendment offered by Mr. Welch and Ms. DeGette.
Without objection.
Title II, add the following.
Without objection, that amendment will be considered as read.
Mr. Chairman.
Amendment offered by Ms. Baldwin of Wisconsin.
Without objection, that
Subtitle D.
amendment will be considered as read. Does that conclude the
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
parliamentary inquiry.
just 1 minute. I'm going to recognize.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Amendment offered by Ms. Baldwin of Wisconsin at the end of Subtitle D of Title II, add the following new sections.
Without objection, that amendment will be considered as read.
Amendment offered by Ms. Eshu of California. In Title II, add at the
Without
end of the
objection,
following
that
new
amendment will be
subtitle.
considered as read. Does that complete the amendments
Yes,
in
Mr.
block?
Chairman, it does.
Who sought recognition?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Radonovich.
reserve a point of order on those.
Gentleman reserves a point of order on the amendments. Chair would yield 5 minutes to the gentlelady from California on the amendments.
I thank the gentleman for yielding me time. My amendment today is meant to strengthen the building efficiency portion of the bill by making homes and small office buildings more energy efficient. The built environment is responsible for a significant portion of greenhouse gas emissions. My amendment creates a simple grant program that will provide funding to utilities across the country to invest in tree planting programs that are designed to reduce peak load demand. In places like Tucson, Austin, and Iowa, utilities have used this strategy as an effective method to manage their customers' demand. In my district, our local electric utility has planted thousands of trees in recent years around homes throughout Sacramento. This has saved the equivalent of 30,000 air conditioning units through energy efficiency gains. It has sequestered 600 tons of ozone and more than 700 tons of particulate matter. This program has also saved participating consumers between 25 and 40% on their energy bills each month. Across the United States, there are 100 million available sites across the country for strategic tree planting. If we were to take advantage of all these available slots, the potential energy efficiency savings are enormous, over $1 billion. This is a win-win amendment because it helps lower our constituents' energy bills, increases the commitment of this legislation to building energy efficiency, and gives local utilities the tools they need to help their consumers manage electricity demand. With that, I yield back my time.
Will the gentlelady yield?
Yes, I'll yield to the gentlelady.
Thank you. I wanted to briefly explain the two amendments that are under consideration that I've offered. Both of these amendments address the motor market. Motors used in pumps, compressors, material handling, material processing, food processing, conveyors, fans, blowers, escalators, and elevators. The language in both these amendments has been incorporated in the Senate Appliance Standards Bill and is supported by Mr. Ross and myself. In the Energy Independence and Security Act, a new efficiency standard was set that mandates motor efficiencies beyond those established in the 1992 Energy Policy Act. This upgrade to premium efficient motors will raise initial motor costs by an estimated 10 to 15%. Therefore, there is a concern that due to initial costs, some may be inclined to simply repair and extend the life of old and inefficient motors. As a result, the First Amendment before us would provide a rebate of $25 per horsepower per customer for a high-efficiency motor. These funds will help end users in offsetting the cost difference between repair and replacement of low-efficiency motors. Specifically, it would provide a subsidy through distributors who would be responsible for documenting the sale and for proper disposal of the old motor through distributors. The National Electrical Manufacturers Association and the American Council for an Energy Efficient Economy both support this amendment and estimate replacement of at least 1% of old motors each would save an estimated 1.5 billion kilowatt hours annually. 1.5 billion kilowatt hours annually. Further, the assessment.
Would the gentlelady yield?
Yes.
In order to maybe get back to Title I, our side is willing to accept the amendment.
Both of them?
We have an en bloc.
They're en bloc.
5.
They're on block. Yes.
Great.
No.
Oh.
Then I'll keep on.
Sorry.
It sounds like we're ready for the vote on
Some of
the en
these are
bloc
okay,
amendment.
Some are not.
All those,
All right.
All those in favor of the en bloc amendments will say aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
No. Question.
How do you cut off debate?
The chairman of the subcommittee said that your side was willing to accept the amendment.
On the Baldwin amendment, not the en bloc in total. And so the point of the parliamentary procedure was that
Parliamentary.
Without objection, the vote will be rescinded.
Yeah.
We'll return to debate. Ms. Baldwin, you've explained your amendment, but I gather they don't care for
Well,
any further debate because they agree with yours. But which
well, let me,
amendments?
Mr. Chairman, if I could just clarify.
Yes.
Among the unblock, I have 2 amendments. And so I just want to clarify that they've accepted both of them.
No. Which amendment are we accepting?
Why don't we go vote on the House floor, and we all figure out which ones we can support, which ones you oppose, and then we'll focus on those issues. So we stand in
Should we come back-
recess.
We have 3 votes. Should we come back at 1 o'clock?
We will come back at 1 o'clock.